Okay. Hi guys. Hi everyone. Welcome to our Hangout number 22, I think. Yeah. Um okay. Yeah, so this will just be another update about what's been going on in Leaf. Um yeah, yeah. So basically everything in Leaf this week. Okay, that's what we're doing today. So yeah, quite a lot has happened this week. Um I think. Yeah. So yeah, we'll just go over what's new, stuff like that. Okay. Nothing, disclaimer, nothing has gone to production yet. So this is stuff you should expect pretty soon. It's not yet out, but maybe next week, maybe the week after, but definitely this month. So yeah. So let's just take a look at what's new. As usual, drop your comments in here. I'll take a look at them. Questions, suggestions, stuff like that. Anything you need, just drop it and I'll read it. Okay. So let's get started. Um, okay. So last week I talked about how stuff from Pop Plane were moving back into Leaf. Sorry. Okay. So stuff from Paper Plane. So if you've used Leaf MVC recently, there's been a lot more scaffolding commands. There's been a whole lot of automation, and all of those stuff are from Leaf MVC. Sorry, they are from Paper Plane. So basically, what you were supposed to get with Power Plane is that level of automation plus a bunch of new commands. Yeah. So some of those are in Leaf MVC now, um, and yeah, they're actually pretty cool stuff. Okay. So last week I mentioned moving some of those stuff to Leaf MVC. Um, yeah, and so the first thing I worked on was something I kind of already put in the documentation. Um, that's the scaffold coming soon command. So this is kind of done, kind of. Yeah, so we have authentication, we have our landing page stuff that comes with like a pricing page and all of that stuff, although they don't really work. As in there's no billing link to it yet. But that's something we'll talk about later. But yeah, the coming soon page. Okay. So yeah, coming soon, it's kind of done. That's one of the things I worked on this week. So pretty soon you'll be able to PHP leave scaffold waitlist. And then basically what it does is people would be able to um, kind of you'd have a waitlist page where people can enter their emails. Basically, that's the whole idea. Um, and it comes with this stuff: waitlist page available in React Vue Svelte Blade, just as the other scaffold. So from this point on, every scaffold will have React Blade, Vue, Svelte, all of that. Yeah. So that's doesn't really matter what front end you're using. There'll be something for you. And then they'll have middleware that redirects and all of that stuff. So basically all of that is done for you. And I had a little demo. I actually don't even remember where I left it. Let me just uh look for this. I think it was like coming soon test, if I remember right. Coming soon test. There we go. Okay. So I'll just open this up real quick. And basically, it's not done. I'm still left with middleware to implement, but leave there. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just running a bunch of things right now. And yeah, so it's looking for a port to kind of start this one. Anyway, so this is what you would have for your coming soon template, or I don't know what you choose to call it. But basically, users would be able to enter their emails in here. And then, of course, you have a bunch of gibberish, same as you have on the other scaffolds. You can set a date time, all of that stuff if you want. If you don't want, I mean, it's just a template to get you started. So users can join the waitlist, and then this will create a schema file for you where you can gather all of your user waitlist stuff. Um, into a database table and then mail them later on or something like that. Yeah, so this is kind of almost done. The only things left are your middleware and then a mailer, a job actually, so you can export your wait list and stuff like that. Yeah, so all of those will come built in, so you'll be able to PHP leaf, scaffold, wait list. Actually now they've been merged, so you don't get two commands, you get only one. So you scaffold, wait list, and pops all of that stuff out for you. Okay, so the really cool thing is in production, if you enter any other route like /hello or anything, an existing route, it will just redirect you here. So you don't have to implement any special handling for that. Leaf will take care of all of that for you in production. But then in local development, you probably need those routes. So yeah, there's nothing like that. Okay, so basically that's how this whole wait listing would work. And then just as with all of the other scaffolds, all of the different files will be available in your project, so you can just edit them. Yeah, so that's pretty much all there is with the waitlist scaffold. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, so that's the first thing. That's the first thing I was up to this week. The next thing was billing, which I've talked about for quite a while. Yeah, long story short, you can, or you would be able to use both of them once it's done. Um, I've made good progress with it, especially on the Stripe part of it. There's still pay stuff left, and then merging both of them. So yeah, we are still looking at another week, so maybe next week or something like that. But yeah, so far everything I've mentioned would be launched by the end of the month. So that's something you can look forward to. Okay, set up your Stripe or paste of it. So if you I have Stripe set up. So all I'm doing now is I'm just charging a user for something, a purchase of a bunch of items like that. So this is all I have to tell Leaf to do. My actual code looks at, I'm actually saving a bunch of information. I didn't random information before I actually figured out what I need. But this is what my actual code looks like. Yeah. But anyway, all that you have to do is pass in metadata with items, and then Leaf will sort through the items in a way your actual payment processor understands. So once again, you don't have to do anything. Leaf takes care of all of that stuff for you. So you bill and charge, and then Leaf will generate the billing session, whether it's in Stripe or Paystack or whatever. And then you get your session URL. So your front end does what it needs to do. Your user pays for your stuff. And then with a payment callback URL, like on successful payment, there is this. Okay. So over here, all you have to do, once again, this is just like application specific code. It's not like you have to do this for your application. All you have to do for your application is this part. So you check if the billing is successful, and that's actually all. Yeah. So once you call billing is success, Leaf will automatically check your payment method, like whatever payment provider you are using for this particular, for your application. And then it would manually check whatever information is coming into your application and determine if it was successful. Basically, that's how it works. So Leaf does all of that stuff for you. So all you need to do is call a success, and if it's successful, you do what you need to do. If not, you do something else. Yeah, basically. So if you're working on one-time payments, that's actually all you need to do, because Leaf will set up everything. So you don't even need, basically, you enter your billing tiers like this. Okay. Okay. So that's billing. We have a production checklist for you of this. So we have billing. That is. So we have billing. That's kind of when the module is there. And that was for the controller you just saw. And basically, all I'm doing is passing in items as you saw here. And then Leaf kind of takes care of every other thing and generates the payment link, checkout link, blah blah blah. So that's pretty much it. Okay, so once you install billing, you get access to a bunch of new scaffold commands. So scaffold is available to Leaf and need to worry about that. Something like the authentication scaffold does, but you don't need to worry about that with the billing scaffold. Yeah, so that's billing. That's the waitlist scaffold. So those are two new things which will be hitting Leaf MVC next week. Um, yeah. So they already stuff I'm playing around with, especially for the billing scaffold. Um, yeah. Okay. So the final thing I mentioned last week was Leaf Zero. Not made much progress on that. Actually, like barely any progress. It's still the same as you saw it last week. I've been focusing on the other parts of it. Yeah. But yeah, it's still the same. I actually am not sure when this will be done because it's pretty annoying replicating the same code for Blade. Um, yeah, it was actually originally in Blade, but then replicating it for React, Vue, Svelte, that's pretty annoying. But anyway, I'm still working on that. But then the two things you should be expecting either next week or the week after, but definitely before the end of the month, new scaffolds for your wait list and for your billing. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. And that's mostly what I've been up to throughout the week. I've just been sorting out, especially the billing issues, but uh, it was actually pretty fun working on that, but pretty annoying at the same time because I kept on changing things. You see, this code is from 2 days ago, but within 2 days, I have just been messing around with the actual billing code, and it's been pretty annoying. But then also so fun, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So that's basically what I've been up to. Um, I mentioned I might have a surprise for you guys last week, but then I would push that a bit till maybe next week. Um, yeah. So yeah, that's leave for the week, or at least that's my week. Um, I saw there've been a bunch of new PRs and issues and stuff like that, which I'm also looking at. Um, the week was mostly for billing and other stuff, so I barely looked at other issues, but I think I've already fixed some of those issues. I think there were actually just about two issues. Yeah, so definitely not much. Um, the really cool thing though is Leave version 4 is actually catching up it's catching up to version 3. So that's good news. This is something I was talking about with Abdul earlier. So we'll take care of that later. This I have not taken a look at. And oh, okay, so this might be our first problem with schema files. Let's see. PHP leave DB migrate. Uh Prior to version 4, DB migrate was working perfectly. PHP leave DBC produces an error. Uh DB install runs correctly. Uh, I think this person may be running version 3 in version 4. I don't know. I have no idea. I actually have no idea. But then I don't think db install is a command in Leaf MVC version 4. I actually really doubt it. MVC. Yeah, I actually don't remember moving that command. Anyway, get checkout v4.x and I think PHP leaf. db install. Yeah, db install is not a command in v4. So yeah, the person is probably running v3. But how do you run v3 in v4? Anyway, so that's something I would have to look at But yeah, it looks like the issue is the person is running V3. Yeah, so that might be a version 3 issue. Anyway, so that still means we've not had any issues for schema files, which is kind of weird because um, he actually always expected to have at least one issue with schema files. So we've gone, I think this is the second week of version 4, and we've still not had any schema file issues. So that's actually pretty cool. Vite course, and then inertia version 2 actually. I think that's another thing Rome reported, which I haven't yet looked at. Sorry, Rome. I've still been caught up with the stuff I showed earlier. It's the stuff I know. Yeah, I think yeah. This person was running on the dev version instead of the actual V4, which is what caused that issue. So yeah, the rest are mostly feature requests. I think some of these have already been fixed. So I don't know why they are still here. Yeah, so I really do not see any real new issue. So that's also good. But if you run into any issues, please do open up an issue, hit me up on Discord or anything like that. Yeah. Okay, so that was pretty much my week. I also fixed a bunch of new things in the documentation. So we have clearer documentation now. As I said probably 2 weeks ago, it gets better with every week. So if you do find any problems with documentation, please just open up an issue and I'll take care of it. If there's anything that's not clear, just open up an issue. No matter what your problem is, just open up an issue and I'll take care of it. So yeah, I found this new thing that tags me or stuff like that in your issues. So just open up the issue and I'll take care of it. Yeah. Um cool. So this documentation will also be going on next week together with the billing because I don't want to remove those pages. I don't want to remove those pages before launching. Yeah. I don't think Leave Zero is going to pop out next week. So that's unfortunate. But then the scaffolds are going out. That's the scaffold wait list command, um, which is here. I actually don't know if this is in the main documentation. Um, yeah, I actually have not checked on this. Okay, yeah, it's here. It's here. Never mind. Yeah, so scaffold wait list is going out next week, and then the scaffold billing commands are also going out next week. So that's cool. And then that's what you should be looking forward to. For me personally, billing is big because billing is pretty much in every product that I work on, one way or the other. Yeah, so that's pretty cool for me, and I hope it is for you guys as well. Um, as I have probably already said like 1,000 times, our goal with Leaf 4 is to just help you build faster. So anything at all we can do to help you build faster is exactly what we are doing. And yeah, if you think we are missing anything, just open an issue. Yeah, if it's a new feature, you can just open up a feature request. If it's something glitching, just open up a regular issue, and I'll get to it, or someone will get to it. So just do that. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I missed any issues. I don't think I did. Yeah, I am really not sure I did. This here I saw, but it looks like a server configuration issue, so I don't really think that has anything to do with Leaf. Um, yeah. Anyway, okay. So yeah, that's everything from me about Leaf. Um, new features, new features, new features. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are a bunch of new features kind of sprinkled into the documentation somewhere that I've probably forgotten about. But yeah, that's actually it for now. Next week we'll have our scaffold commands and then little enhancements to our what should we call that? the file system module. And then yeah, one more thing. So um for some very weird reason, for a very, very weird reason, um I never actually built route names into Leaf. Yes, there's like really good support for route names. In a sense, you can even redirect to route names directly. All of that stuff works pretty fine. But compared to other frameworks like Laravel, where route groups are pretty straightforward, Leaf does not push routes. Sorry, route names, not route groups. Route names in any direction. Like we don't push route names as much as other frameworks do. Of course, you can use named routes like this. You just pass in a name, and it works the same with controllers. And you can redirect like this. You can up route to get the name, or you can just use the route function directly in Leaf MVC. So yes, there's support for route names, but then there's, should I say, not enough extensive support for route names. I don't know. Route names kind of feel alien in Leaf, to me at least. They don't feel like they fit right in. Um, yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking of a way to make them feel more comfortable. Um, so yeah, if you guys have any ideas, please just drop them. Either here, Discord, GitHub. You can open up a new issue or a new discussion. Yeah, but right now they actually feel pretty poor. Um, and I think there was even an issue recently, if I remember right. There was an issue just about that. Something about route groups, something about route names. I don't remember what it was about. Right, resource route names. Yeah, that does not exist. That doesn't exist yet. And some other very basic things that have to do with like with route names, they all just don't exist. So yeah. So that's another thing we're looking at. And I don't know why that happened because I'm a big fan of route names on the front end. So I don't know how come that just happened, where I absolutely do not use route names. I actually really don't use route names in my code on the back end, but on the front end I do, which is doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that kind of slipped into Leaf, which is actually not a good thing. So yeah, in future versions, the router would have much better support for route names, and it'll be. I mean, it's already built in. Like you can do this without installing any other thing. It just works. But it could be better. So yeah, that's another thing you can look forward to. I don't know which version that would be in, but it would be in one of the next versions, maybe two versions away. Yeah. So that's it. That's the kind of stuff you should be looking forward to. Yeah. Okay, Terry, thank you. Thanks a lot. Um yeah. Also I've been focusing on inertia a lot. Um which is kind of weird. Yeah. But then inertia has become personally my favorite way to build. Um which is kind of funny. But yeah, so if you that's not going to affect Blade or any other thing in any way. So yeah, we are still going to keep Blade as our first priority, and inertia will be, next to that. New inertia stuff have been popping up a lot just because I've been building a lot with it. And yeah, that kind of stuff usually happens because if I do anything fun, which seems nice to have, it would probably end up in Leaf, which is why it looks like a lot of inertia stuff has been happening recently. But that's just because I've been messing around with inertia a lot. So that's the only reason. We are not going to drop support for Blade or anything. So if you had that impression, then that's not going to happen. Blade is still our templating engine of choice in Leaf MVC, and you could always swap it out if you don't want it. Um, there should be some documentation on that somewhere in front end, other engines, Leaf MVC. So if you do not want to use Blade, you could just swap it out. There's everything you need. You just need to type out this command, install your view engine, and then just put it here, and then tell Leaf how to use it, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. So it's this simple actually. So from there, if you call response view or render, response render, anything like that, it would use your configuration instead of using Blade. So from that point, you could probably uninstall Blade if you want to, and your app will still work fine. So yeah, we are still maintaining that aspect from version 3 where you can still swap out things without breaking Leaf MVC. It's still the same. Yeah. Okay. So that's it about the view stuff. Yeah, I brought that up because yeah, it looked like I've been working on a lot of inertia stuff recently. Um, yeah, Blade is still the first thing you'd interact with. Okay. Um, any other questions? Any other questions? No new questions. Um, okay. Leave view install beat. Terry mentioned there's an issue here, which I'm going to look at. Yeah. So that's another issue I have to look at. Okay, but then it works pretty fine in Leaf MVC. Um, Actually, Leaf MVC no longer comes pre-installed with Beat. Yeah, so I think I have to update that documentation. Yeah, but getting Vite installed is as simple as one command, especially if you need like Tailwind or Inertia or anything like that. You can just view install and Leaf will take care of everything. Okay. Da, da, da. Tailwind, we're using V4. And yeah, I actually removed the documentation for V3. I don't think it's too early to do that. So right now, view install sets up version 4, and you can use your themes, variables, all of that stuff. Pretty cool. Yeah, and it just makes sense. So I got rid of version 3, unfortunately. Or fortunately, actually, doesn't really matter. Um, da, 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 and then inertia. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I do not see any new questions, so I'm just going to end today's hangout here. Hopefully, by next week's hangout, we'll have Berlin already released, so then we can just play around with it a bit, together with our wait list, which I showed up earlier. So if you missed that, you can just go back all the way to the beginning, and you find it there. Yeah. Okay. So that's it. That's it. That's it. If you come across any issues, please open up an issue and I'll take care of it immediately. Um, yeah, I have been trying to break schema files for the most basic use cases, of course, not anything advanced. But yeah, they seem to be holding up pretty good. So I have an example project here, which I'll be showing you next week. Yeah, da, 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 da. Sorry, database. Yeah, so basically it's just a whole lot of tables which are related to each other all over the place. There's like all kinds of weird stuff happening. And schema files are holding up pretty great for my use case here. Um, yeah, all kinds of just crazy interconnected relationships. One to many, many to many, blah 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 blah. Having all kinds of weird stuff, and it still works great. So I guess I guess for most use cases, people would usually not have issues. Um, oh, and this also has multi-tenancy, which I'm considering having a scaffold for because it's quite a pain to set up yourself. So this is a context where people can just switch to a different store. They can create many stores, switch to a different store, and query stores based on the current store ID. which is actually pretty straightforward. I thought multi-tenancy would be kind of annoying, but then it is annoying to set up everything yourself, considering the number of models and stuff you have with invitations and all that. Um, yeah, but it's actually pretty straightforward. But it would still be nice to have a scaffold for that, like PHP Leaf scaffold multi-tenancy. That would be nice, actually. Um, yeah. So, we'll probably look at that later. But yeah, this is something I'll show you guys next week. Yeah. So I'm just going to end the stream here. Thank you guys for joining. And as usual, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. And if you have any issues, just open it up on Discord. Sorry, on GitHub, and I would hop onto it. So I'll catch you guys next week. Hopefully we can build something fun next week. Um yeah. Oh, I tried AI before just before I just before I end the stream. I tried coding with AI, and it was actually pretty fun. Um this Where did I even find that? Oh right, I was actually um weird. Okay, I do not even remember where these are. Okay, it's 50-50. Yeah. So this here, funny enough, is fully AI generated, which was kind of funny because this is the first project I've actually tried AI coding on. Is it good? Kind of. I mean, I can do this. Um, I mean, it's a very basic thing. You add stuff to bugs, and that was what you saw earlier with the billing implementation. So I guess that does kind of work. But then with the kind of funny code it generated, it was quite funny to look at. For instance, with a basic hero section like this, it was playing around with stuff like portals and really weird stuff. And I don't know if you can tell, but at a glance, this looks 100% AI generated to me. So, is AI coding good? Good enough to do this, but good enough to work in a team? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, and then there are so many bugs to like display a different currency here from what's in the bag, which is actually correct because it's supposed to be in USD, but then it just generated random stuff. Um, yeah, but who knows? It might actually be my fault because this is my very first time using AI for coding. So yeah. Anyway, so that's another fun thing I tried out this week. And now I would actually see you guys next week. So okay.